I just thought it was.
Well, this is a player that won $200,000 in about 12 minutes at one point, playing on the internet.
Fold.
What? I did not say I beat. So.
I mean, he never showed it.
Fold.
Could have better.
Call.
Could have had Jack.
And it's amazing when you look at him and you think he's only 22. And he's playing a 5-3 suited here.
Against Patrik Antonius.
Well, he's playing his button. He loves that button.
In fact, both players love their button.
Two of you, yeah.
Well, most good players do, don't they?
It really is a power position.
Well, it's an interesting flop. Both players get a little piece of it. Antonius, a much better piece, though.
Yeah, he's definitely in front right now. A little under a 3-1 favourite.
If you're Dwan, do you take one off here?
4,500
Seeing if you can catch two pair or some sort of draw.
Well, he also doesn't know, of course, that Patrik's actually caught any of this.
So what's the play if you're Tom Dwan?
The sort of player that Tom Dwan is, he's also the sort of player that's going to put pressure on with the re-race, kind of to find out where he is. Very, very fast player, but he's decided to play his position. He's called. Here we go. We're going to see a turn card.
Oh, that's a magical card there, the 5 there. Obviously looking for a 5 or a 3 or some sort of draw. That's going to give him trips. And can Patrik Antonius put him on a 5?
Well, he knows that Tom can pretty well play any 2 cards.
Especially
Just
on
have to see how this one plays out.
There's no way you're hacking it.
He's such a dangerous player.
Well, we see that earlier. We saw him move all in with just a 7 high. Anybody that's capable of doing that is very dangerous.
Betting 10,000. 10,000 to call.
And Patrik Antonius is going to bet 2/3 of the pot, 10,000 into a $15,000 pot. Action over to Dwan. And there's not much that Patrik Antonius can beat if Dwan actually had a real hand here.
I think you have queens, but you might have also flopped.
Called.
Well, Tom's slow playing this one. Doesn't want to lose his customer.
15 change.
Also a slight chance he's a bit gun shy. He caught what he thought was a monster earlier on against David Benjamin. Wow, now he's got 5s full of 3s.
But once again, what can Patrik Antonius beat here with the king with a pair of kings with only a jack kicker?
8 on the river. You bet 90 something on the river, and he moved you into
I think we might still try and see a value bet from Patrik.
I promise to you, I'll be honest. I might try.
Although with Tom behind him, he might do a kind of a check call, hoping to catch a bluff.
I told you.
Figuring if Dwan missed diamonds,
He might have a stab because he's got, you know, an awful lot of history to trying to take these pots away. But I've seen Patrik make an awful lot of value bets on the river with very marginal hands.
well, this would be a very thin value bet. And of course, when Dwan raised, might Antonius think that he's raising with missed diamonds?
You're running good, Phil. I hit the 8. I was going to check raise him on the river.
You did check raise him on the
But I hit the 8, but I was
Of course, Gus Hansen, the Great Dane, watching the game intently. We saw him earlier. He finished up about $34,000.
Like
But Patrik Antonius is a big decision right now.
came 3-4 jack.
Looks like he's put in a little value bet.
He has.
Yeah.
Buddy, we don't play in the same level.
David was losing before.
27,000.
Well, that's a big bet there. 27,000 into a $35,000 pot.
I think we're going to see a raise from Dwan. He can't be scared of 5 king or kings full.
You know, the way Dwan's day is going, I figure he figures, you know what, if I run into pocket kings here, so be it. He's definitely going to raise this one.
That's what he said.
Buddy, that's all I'm doing. Just another day grinding.
Dwan started this hand with just under $140,000.
You won 34 nines.
Deuces.
His pot is going to be at least 90,000. And he's all in. And we saw him move all in earlier with just a 7 high.
Bet is all in.
He did have a bit of a draw, though, when he did the 7 high,
Good
just
point.
in case.
Well, the pot now is $184,000 back to Patrik Antonius. And could Dwan be doing this with a misdraw?
Well, that's what's going to be going through Patrick's head.
You think about that flop. What draw could he have missed?
Yeah, because otherwise you would have been bluffed.
Obviously 2 diamonds on that flop.
I mean, it's hard to call.
How much more?
It's just like, unless you have a deuce and you really have like an ace deuce. And even, I mean, well, probably what I'm a favorite to have.
And of course, Durr is such an aggressive player.
70.
Helps him get paid off sometimes.
Even if you have an ace deuce, I mean, how often are you going to have the best hand?
But will Patrik pay him off here?
No?
That's 90.
I mean, once in a while. I mean,
95
Phil Hellmuth,
95
world
six.
champion, looking on. Always studying his opponents.
Yeah.
And it's about 90,000, 95,000 back to Antonius.
95-6.
And what is Patrik thinking here, Gary?
Well, he's just trying to decide whether he thinks that Tom could be making a bluff here. There isn't really, like you say, any genuine hands he can beat.
Oh, that's a sick beat there. You had kings there. I thought he had
I
queens.
mean, a raise like that on the river, it's pretty much an absolute monster or nothing at all, right?
Exactly.
You raise pre-flop, I didn't
I'll be hamming up tonight.
You raise pre-flop, I didn't re-raise him. Out of the small blind.
Oh, you could have sixes. Oh, that's all.
And these guys have logged hours and hours against each other online.
I could have queen six.
What a treat we have watching them live on television.
How could you not pass there?
I could have queen six.
I'm just trying to say, with the board queen six.
Of course, Patrik made a big payoff to Phil Ivey in season 2.
Yes, we all remember that.
Deuce, deuce.
Pot that exceeded $800,000, and at the time was the biggest ever televised hand. Can you get a read off that face?
14.
I can't.
44. 44. Total.
But I'm used to seeing his avatar rather than his face.
You're right. He said it made it 44.
So what does he do?
And we've seen some thin calls today. This wouldn't be as thin. Patrik hasn't played too many hands trying to work this one out.
Do you agree with what I'm saying? What do you do in his spot? You gotta take the lead of the pot. You cannot do the bluff, right? In the hand.
Oh, he's doing check.
Eyes wide open. Tom Dwan begging for a call at this point.
Two owners. It doesn't have to do that. You can call and you can win or raise the turn.
David, can you order watermelon? We have 2 more hours.
They're gonna come with some fruit from you.
Don't forget, not only is Tom Dwan stuck over $300,000, Patrik Antonius is stuck about $100,000 as well.
An absolutely enormous pot, $184,000 pot, $95,000 to call.
No, we can do it.
It's all about balance.
You know, that's what it's all about having the back. There's only station for the first month. I mean, I have
Gamma, 45.
it's quite a lot of swimming. You know,
Patrik Antonius has won millions in cash games, millions in tournaments.
he's already put on it, right?
And he's made a living making tough decisions like this.
These two bucks good though. You don't want to say where he's going. Easily in
Talking about a lot of money here. And if you're ever wondering if this money meant anything to these players, you can look at Patrik's face.
You can almost feel the pain on his face. He's really not comfortable.
He's got 2 pair, kings and 5s of the jack kicker. But as you've said already, he can only beat a bluff here.
All credit to Tom Dwan. He's played this beautiful. The flat call on the turn, the all-in on the river. Such a big overbat.
He's really playing it as if he missed
I call.
some sort of draw.
Call.
He says call. And
All in
Patrik
call.
not happy. 5s full of 3s, going to be the winner. And that pot, nearly $300,000.